You probably want to stop aging. Well, that's probably not 100% possible, but it's possible to slow down the aging for your cells, which means that you're going to live a more healthier life for a longer time, having maybe more life quality. Today, we're looking into one of the 9 essential amino acids, which is called histidine. And we're going to look into the benefits of histidine. We're going to look into what you're supposed to eat to get histidine and what to look out for so you are not depriving yourself of histidine. I've done a couple of episodes about the 9 essential amino acids. So have a look at those if you think this episode is interesting. And feel free to share this one, like this one, and make sure that this content maybe helps other people if you find this helpful. If you don't like this, then obviously should not do that, but it's up to you. All right, so histidine, it sounds a lot like histamine, and it is because you need histidine to produce histamine. And everyone, or maybe not everyone knows, but histamine is usually connected to allergies, gut problems, to infections and so on. For most people, that's kind of how much we usually think about that maybe. But histidine is important for that because it's an important role that the body plays to basically protect itself. But if we go back a bit, so as one of these 9 essential amino acids, that means this is essential. This is something you need to eat on a daily basis, because if you're not digesting this through your food, then you're not going to have adequate levels. And if you don't have adequate levels, you're going to get side effects from that might not be or at your benefit. Used to be, so back in the days, they thought histidine was actually only for essential for small children, but they figured out that this is actually true for also adults. So we also need this if we are adults. We know that this is a precursor for neurotransmission, for immune response, for stomach acid, and also for brain function in total. It plays a key role for tissue repair, for metal ion binding, so zinc, iron, copper, and stuff like that. And if you have low histidine, you might have problems to take up those other metal ions, meaning you get those side effects from having that. And let's look into maybe a bit of the studies that we have on this. So one study here, they looked into inflammatory markers for patients with metabolic syndrome. So basically there were metabolic syndrome, they can have any kind of problems with heart, blood pressure, they can have low metabolic rate, high insulin, they can be insulin resistant and so on. So they had 50 people on a randomized controlled trial. So half of the group didn't have supplementation, the other ones had. And they supplemented 4 grams of histidine a day for 12 weeks. And the inflammatory markers went drastically down compared to the control group. And their insulin resistance also dropped down. And the HDL cholesterol also improved. So it seems to have an anti-inflammatory effect. And it also improves your metabolic health. And if you've been following this series for a while, metabolic health seems to be connected to many other things like your mental health being and everything like that. Let's look into another study. So they looked into histidine-rich D-peptides and muscle aging, and found out that supplementing histidine and beta-alanine increased the carnosine in muscles, and it delayed fatigue. So you could actually keep on training or working more, and it protects against oxidative stress. Histidine is also important for hemoglobin function. It helps to bind oxygen into red blood cells. meaning you will be able to transport more oxygen to your muscle tissues. If you're training, that is important, but it's also important for general metabolic health. It also helps with wound healing. So if you're, say you have inflammation, you have a open cut or something like that, this will also improve your skin repair and so on. I also have a small caveat too, that it also has a positive effect on probably your skin, eczema and stuff like that, because it is the precursor of something called flagellin. So this seems to be connected to reversing eczema in the body. So it's also a good indicator or something to think about, maybe if you're suffering from eczema. So let's look into where you can get your histidine. The highest bioavailability sources per 100 gram servings, you have pork chops at 1.3 grams, chicken breast at 1.2 grams, you have beef at 1 gram, about eggs 0.8, tuna 1.1, and tofu at 0.65, and lentils at 0.4. So how much should you be eating per day? So it's recommended to eat about 10 milligrams per kilo body weight per day. So if you're 70 kilos, you need about 700. If you're physically active, that number should go up, and it will help you to recover. It will help you to grow. It will help you to heal, and it will also keep you from sickness and chronic stress. So many benefits of having adequate amounts of histidine in your diet. Now, we also have the things that inhibit the uptake of histidine, and the common ones are phytic acid. Those are found in whole grains and legumes, oxalates, which are found in spinach and beets, and also just having a low stomach acid. And this is sometimes the problem with people that have high chronic stress, is that the stomach acid starts to drop. And if you listen to the previous episode, you might see the connection here, what cortisol does to the body if it's chronically high. Things that you can have that increases the uptake is zinc and B6. It helps with the histidine metabolism. Obviously, eating histidine combined with foods that have good fat in it, and that is going to be saturated fats. So basically, if you eat beef, you're already settled. You have the transporters for taking up histidine. And resistance training also helps with taking up histidine. It increases demand in the entire body. So it has this overall effect, because the body doesn't always need where you should be taken up, and it gets better at doing it because you're kind of teaching the body to do it. If you're suffering, with chronic disease, poor recovery, gut inflammation, or frequent infections, then it might be a good thing to look into histidine. Again, it's not only one thing always. It's not like one silver bullet, but in some cases it might be. But usually, generally speaking, it is the entire palette. So all the 9 essential amino acids. Sometimes also the other amino acids that you're just not getting enough of in your body. Thank you for listening today. If you're interested in more detail and maybe know how to reverse depression or get a better drive, I recommend to look into the next video, because I'm going to go into some other parts in the amino acid family. All right. Thank you. Bye.